In today's video, I'll be showing you how to work the stitch pattern for the textured stripes in my new design, Cattail. In this design, stripes alternate between stockinette stitch and the texture pattern in the variegated yarn. This particular pattern shows off variegated yarns quite beautifully, and it's pretty simple to create. I've worked a few rows of stockinette stitch just to begin to simulate the alternating bands of stockinette stitch and textured stripes in the pattern. The first row of the actual texture pattern begins with a knit row. All the stitches are knit. The pattern's created on row 2 with yarn overs. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to begin with a knit 1 selvage stitch and work my way into the pattern. So I'm going to purl 2, then yarn over and purl the next 2. I'm going to take my left needle, scoop up the yarn over, and pass it over the 2 purl stitches that I just did, and go on to purl the next 2. Yarn over, purl 2, pass the yarn over the 2 purl stitches that I've created. And I'm going to just keep repeating that pattern across the wrong side row. So 2 purls, yarn over, purl 2, take the left hand needle, scoop up the yarn over, and pass it over the 2 purl stitches. Purl 2, yarn over, purl 2, and pass the yarn over the 2 purl stitches. I'll show you what that looks like when we get to the end of the row. Yarn over, purl 2, pass the yarn over the 2 stitches, purl 2, yarn over, purl 2, pass the yarn over the 2 purl stitches, and I'm going to end with my knit 1 selvage. So when we turn over to look at the row, it really doesn't look like much. You can see little purl bumps here, 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 here. But let's do another right side row, which again, the right side rows of this pattern are all knit. So I'm going to knit this next row. Now this is a 4-stitch pattern repeat, and it's also a 4-row pattern repeat. The wrong side rows are worked exactly the same, except that they're offset by 2 stitches, and I'll show you exactly what that means when we get to the end of the row. This will become important in part 2 of this video when I show you how to work this stitch pattern with increases and decreases. So you can see now that the pattern is emerging. It just looks like little nubs. And you can also see that it works really well with yarns that are tonal or yarns that are more variegated, like I have in the cattail pattern. Okay, so I'm just going to turn over and we're going to work another wrong side row. Now, in row 2 of the pattern, we worked a knit 1 selvage, and then we started with a purl 2 without yarning over. We started with a knit 1 selvage and we purled 2 without yarning over. on row 4, which we're on row 4 right now, we're going to start with the yarn over and then we're going to purl 2. This will offset the pattern by 2 stitches. So we're going to yarn over and then purl 2 and then pass those 2 stitches over. And then we're just going to purl 2, yarn over, purl 2, pass the yarn over the 2 stitches, purl 2, yarn over, oops, let me just grab some more yarn here, purl 2, pass the yarn over those 2 stitches, purl 2, yarn over, purl 2, pass the yarn over, purl 2, yarn over, purl 2, pass the yarn over, purl 2, yarn over, purl 2, yarn over, and end with a purl 2, and then the knit 1 selvage. Okay, now you can see, if you look carefully, get this yarn out of the way, you can see that the second row, the yarn overs are here, but in this row that we just created, the yarn overs are here in between. That means that the pattern is offset by 2 stitches. When we work across the knit row, you'll be able to see that a little better. I'm just going to do one more row so you can actually see those yarn overs pop out. There's like a little noose around their necks of the stitches, so you have to be careful that you grab individual stitches instead of the 2 at once, because those are joined together by the yarn over. And then when we look at it, you now can see that the pattern is offset. So rows 1 and 3 are just knit patterns. Rows 2 and 4 are exactly the same, but you're offsetting that stitch pattern by 2 stitches on row 4. So you can see that it's quite beautiful. And it's actually one of my favorite stitch patterns. Really nice to work. So I hope this explained the stitch pattern used in Cattail, and if you have any questions, I'd love for you to write them in the comments below. Thanks.